We blowing nose, let the smoke dance. Inhaling, exhaling with no hands. I go to Asher, hit my gold chains. My eyes be Asian, but I'm so French. Roll up the sticky parrot with some sushi. Write verses on my phone and dish a loosely vibe. I just light it up like Snoop and Lil Tunechi. Sip gin and juice, and now I'm chillin' loosely. Cause I love pot. All my homies know how to roll, call them dudes, and they grow my stack. I'm a grower and a shower, ask your girl, I bet she knows my spot. She like a green and we got it, you ain't got it, homie. Oh my God, oh my squad, but I love pot. All my homies know how to roll, call them dudes, and they grow my stack. I'm a grower and a shower, ask your girl, I bet she knows my spot. She like a green and we got it, you ain't bout it, homie. Oh my God, oh my squad, yeah. I just want a baddie and a little mixture. Like 50,000 likes on all the pictures. I want an ounce of butter, fifth of liquor. To take this broad into the fifth dimension. I mentioned a little birdie tweeted, we gon' hit this. So is this the butter, her eye isn't listening. I wish that I could post an image while I hit that. But in fact, I don't want the world up in my business. Cause
welcome back, baby. Oh shit. It's hump day. Hump day? The fuck is hump day? That was pissing me off. Hump day is one of our news segments. I'm the host of this here channel. My name's Gap. I do this shit every day of the week now. All right. I give you guys MMA and boxing tips, picks, parlays, tricks, you know, all that shit. And I'm back again. Because guess what? Monday we matchmaked. We talked about who guys should fight next post the weekend. Tuesday we talked about the best TKOs. We watched all the best knockouts, boxing and MMA. So what does that leave us? Hump day. Hump day is reserved for the grapplers. Hump day is reserved for the submission artists. Hump day is reserved for the takedown props. Hump days for the humpers. So, please, if you could, not be a total fucking dickhead, I would like if you could subscribe to the channel and let a friend or two know about it as well. Scan that QR code right there. It'll subscribe you to the YouTube. We are also live on Kick. We are also live on Twitch. You could also subscribe, follow, do all the things you'd like to do there as well. Okay, don't forget to also follow on social. One More Round Fights everywhere except for X. On X, it is One More Round F8. That one matters. That's where we live tweet all the fights that we watch. Kind of keeps you updated on how you might think your fight's going, especially if you got some bread on it. You feel me? And don't forget to scan the QR codes and follow the other channel as well. Main Card Minute, that's where we do full card watch-alongs for UFC numbered events and, you know, main card watch-alongs for the less than reputable ones. I believe this weekend will be just a main card watch along. So if you guys want the prelims, maybe come over to One More Round Fights. We'll see how I'm feeling. We'll see if we're still live with PFL. I might just go right into the other until we get to the main card minute. But yeah, don't forget to follow both channels. And just for housekeeping purposes, main card minute on your left, One More Round Fights on your rights. All right. If you got anything to send it to the channel, you want to show love to the channel, send them into one more round fights at gmail.com. If you our ode merch, send your address. I already got you, Cosmo. I'm in the process of getting shit done. I've been behind. Background actor with a little emoji in this motherfucker. And then LT's Commode says, let's go, Gav. Let's go. Appreciate you. I need a battery in this back. All right. We're going all days. Like a bit of humping on a Wednesday. You already know it. You know what I mean? We got to talk about the grapplers. We can't leave them. We still got love for the grapplers. Marab's still one of our favorite champions. I was going to wear a Marab shirt, but one of the best grapplers. You know, I just had to wear the John Jones for this one. I had to wear that Greco-Roman ain't nothing to play with. All right? That Greco-Roman ain't nothing to play with. You hear me? So basically the format of this year is going to be, we're going to look at all the most dominant grapplers that we've seen in MMA over the past week, since we've only had 2 events, week and a half. Okay. And yes, I'm doing the big dogs. We're not doing Cage Warriors. We're not doing, this and that. We're doing UFC. We're doing PFL. We're doing the occasional one championship. Okay. Maybe even Ryzen will get mixed in here and there. We'll see how bad we need the ratings to get up. But anyways, we're just first going to talk about the most dominant grapplers of the week and how they use their grappling. So we're going to have a couple that from UFC 324 that we still want to talk about. We're going to have a couple from UFC 325. Okay, there was more than a couple from UFC 325, but the ones that matter, because 2 guys didn't use their grappling, and they're gonna eat some shit. All right, those 2 guys are going to eat some shit because one of them should have lost for sure. The other one, but I was very upset with how they had decided to take part in the fight. Didn't make a lot of sense to me. So they won. But yeah. So there's a few guys on UFC 325 that we want to talk about. Then we'll take a look at takedown props and submission props for UFC Vegas 113 this weekend. We have a few guys on there that are worth a look. And we'll do the very same for PFL Dubai sans the takedown attempts, because that's not usually a prop that PFL provides on their books. It is a prop that we see a lot on UFC events, but not so much on PFL events. If we so happen to see it, which I don't even see lines yet for any of these PFL fights, then we might go with those. But and then last but not least, we'll formulate a nice takedown parlay. We'll also formulate ourselves a nice submission parlay. We're going to go across promotions. We could do a same promotion one as well. I mean, that'll be done as we're doing it, right? So yeah. Yeah, and that's how we're going to do this. I, again, don't have lowers because for some reason this fucking graphic isn't working. So we're just going to fucking roll with it. We're going to feel this out. And then from then on, we're going to refine our approach from there. Hopefully you guys enjoy the motherfucking show. So first, let's get into some UFC. Let's talk about the most dominant grapplers that we've seen thus far in the UFC. I mean, so far, it's two guys that have not done a lot of grappling. Let's be honest. It's 2 guys that have grappling in their back pocket, but don't have a lot of grappling in their back pocket at the same time. So if you guys have an idea of the guys that I'm talking about, the first one we're going to talk about is Gene Silva. I don't think anybody thinks about Gene Silva as a grappler. I don't think you do. I don't think I do. I don't think there's a lot of people that think of him as a grappler, right? But apparently he is. Okay, so let's quickly look at Gene Silva. Just real quickly look at Gene Silva. Only 3 wins by sub, 12 wins by knockout, 15 total finishes and 17 wins. Okay. And if you kind of really look back at Gene Silva's career, let's just look at Gene Silva. 2025 in the UFC. No takedown attempts in the Baghdadarian fight. No takedown attempts in the Bryce Mitchell fight. Okay, so we didn't see this coming. All right. I guess we saw those already. The Charles Jourdain fight, no takedown attempts. The Drew Dober fight, no takedown attempts. Okay. But this was the key to victory in this fight for Gene Silva. Yeah, he had the better striking. And yeah, this was actually Arnold Allen's game plan, which is what made this so brilliant and him being a dominant grappler this week. He went 4 for fucking 6. 4 for 6 on takedowns on a guy that doesn't even attempt takedowns. All right. And blanked him on, well, didn't blank him, but edged him on significant strikes. All right. So Gene Silva, in a fight that, in a game plan that no one would have saw for him coming, somehow gets 4 of 6, 60%, more than 60% of his takedowns completed against Arnold Allen, the one who's supposed to be more well-rounded, the one who's supposed to mix it up, the one who's supposed to do everything. So I put him in my dominant grapplers list this week for UFC 324 because he used his grappling to victory, because he threw Arnold Allen's game plan off by using grappling of his own, pulling off a 30-27 victory, 29-28, 29-28. So Gene Silva, I wanted to mention him as one of my most dominant grapplers of the week of UFC 324. And the other one is going to surprise you too. The other one's going to surprise you too. I mean, we all saw it happen. I think you know where I'm going with this one. But Justin motherfucking Gaethje, bro. Justin Gaethje, 3 for 3 on his takedown attempts. Paddy Pimblett still tried to mix it up, but guess what? Motherfucker went 0 for 5. So yeah, that game plan didn't work well. We didn't expect that from Paddy. He's not a big takedown guy. He's more of a take your back kind of guy. He's more of an overwhelm you, get into some jujitsu scrambles kind of guy. He's not really gonna drag you down and completely, Khabib you. Justin Gaethje, not at all that type either, but this proved to be the game plan to win the fight against Paddy, because with the takedowns, he used that front headlock technique as well to keep Paddy down and make his takedowns count. When he got a takedown on Paddy, for the most part, he kept him there for a while. He dropped Paddy a couple times, which made Paddy, flop to his back, and then maybe sometimes Justin Gaethje didn't want to go down there because those types of positions were advantageous for Paddy Pimblett, but Justin Gaethje was a dominant grappler of UFC 324. 3 for 3, 100% sounds dominant to me. and he had Paddy on the canvas multiple times. All right, 2 knockdowns. Should have been honestly 3 or 4. I saw 2 knockdowns in one round. So yeah. Absolutely deserves to be a dominant grappler this week. And Justin Gaethje, not one of those guys that mixes in his takedowns that much either. I mean, imagine what a takedown parlay with Gene Silva and Justin Gaethje would have brought back if we thought for them to use something like that. You know what I mean? If we analyzed this earlier and we were like, yo, he's going to use his grappling probably, right? Like, this is the one fight for him to use his grappling. And then we parlayed a plus 200 takedown with Gaethje with a plus 160 takedown on Gene Silva. It would have been like plus 600, plus 700, man. So just looking at it a different way might provide some insight too. So yeah, Justin Gaethje. If you just look at Justin Gaethje fights too, let's go back 2025. Come on, there we go. 2025. Rafael Fiziev, we know he had some takedowns, and I keep saying Rafael Fiziev. Oh, actually 3 takedown attempts, but never actually got the takedowns. Okay, that's fair. So no takedowns against that. No takedowns against Max, obviously. That fight was largely on the feet. No takedowns against Dustin Poirier. 1 takedown against Fiziev the first time. 1 for 3. Back to 2022. I mean, he wasn't shooting on Charles, so 0 for 0 there. Michael Chandler, 0 for 0 there. Michael Chandler tried to initiate the grappling, ended up on bottom a couple times. And then Khabib, obviously, you're not trying to take down Khabib. That's just a stupid game plan altogether. The Tony fight, Tony was training for a grappler, ended up getting a striker. No grappling there. Donald, you see my drift here. Justin Gaethje, almost no takedown attempts over his career. And then in the most important fight of his career to this point, he gets 3 of 3. So yeah, some sniping to be looked at in terms of takedowns. I just wanted to mention those guys as dominant grapplers for UFC 325. And let me switch up this view so I can get the chat up in this motherfucker. I forgot to include you guys. My bad. That's on me, big dog. That's on me. John Jones is a sick grappler. He stripped the grip on that USADA lady's cell phone with ease. Don't do it. Don't do it to him. And then Johnny has some underrated subs, most of them in the championship fights as well. Belfort, Machida, Rampage, gone. Yep. That's what I'm saying. Daily dose of Gaster. Yes, sir, lazy man. I'm trying to be out here. I'm trying to oversaturate the waters. I'm trying to chum the waters with some gaff. You feel me? You feel me? UFC counts those as takedowns? Come on, man. They do. And then UFC counts Gaethje's defensive wrestling headlocks as takedowns. Come on, UFC. I mean, it is a technique to take his opponent off of his feet and bring him to 3 or 4 points on the mat with him in a dominant position, I can see why they count those as takedowns. I mean, yeah, he didn't go to his back, but we've seen takedowns that don't count as taking him to a back. Dropping him to all fours counts as a takedown, and then you get the back. That's a takedown. So yeah, I could see it's modified, but yeah, I could see it as a takedown for sure. And then that's like counting Marab for like 30 takedown attempts against Yan. That's in the second fight. Yeah, okay, that's a fair point. That's a fair point. But Yan got one knee down, not two. Patty was on two knees, basically elbows as well. So a little bit difference, but I think that's due to the rule difference in the change in the past couple of years. I feel like that could be why. Completely irrelevant to this show, so ignore me. He says lazy. Nothing's irrelevant. The chat is part of this show. The chat is part of the show, my friend. Why do you think I put you guys on the left there? Even if I'm not addressing it, at least other people can notice it. You know what I mean? You guys are part of the show. So let's talk about the most dominant grapplers of UFC 325. Shall we? It's time. So let's go a couple back here. Gagey, get off my screen, brother. Hey, champ, get off the. You know what, champ? You got it, bro. You got it, man. That's on me. I shouldn't have asked you to move. That's on me, champ. That's on me. All right. Well, anyways, let's start with the early prelims. Let's talk about all the grapplers that we saw over UFC 325. And let's start off with the most dominant grappler of the entire card for me. My man pulling off a plus 200 dog upset. You already know who we talking about. Yes, sir. We had 2 dogs in a row, and our first was Lawrence Louis. Look at this shit, baby. 7 for 15 on takedown attempts. Imagine what the line was for 1 or 2. You know, DraftKings goes up to 6 on these fights, regardless. They'll do a half, then they'll do 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and give you some crazy odds. Imagine a takedown prop on Lawrence Louis, what that would have brought back at 7 takedowns, especially since we knew that he was going to have to grapple to victory. We knew that he could steal this fight. I mean, we probably would have at least thought 2 takedowns. That probably still would have been sweet. So he was my most dominant grappler of the card, clearly used his takedowns in an attempt to win the fight, used it to overwhelm his opponent, almost having more significant strikes than his opponent had total strikes. You know what I mean? Yeah, Lawrence Louis did everything that he absolutely could to win this fight, and grappling was an absolutely huge part of it. It was probably the sole reason that he won this fight, because Suling Rangbo was obviously the better striker on the feet. So for me, Lawrence Louis was the most dominant grappler on this card, and he had the best overall grappling performance, in my opinion. Overall, it didn't have the most weight. Obviously, BSD's grappling performance would have the most weight, but Lawrence Louis, that was a dominant grappling performance. It's the reason he won the fight. So I want to notice that he was a road to UFC bantamweight tournament winner because of that performance. His grappling is exactly what got him the win. And some of these guys need to go to their bread and butter to get these wins, man, or go to their second tool. A lot of these guys will live and die on that first tool. And then we're just sitting there in rounds 2 and 3. Like, why the fuck isn't he doing anything? Why the fuck hasn't he switched anything up? Because these guys are afraid to go to their second game plan because they don't think it's as good as their first. Lawrence Louis proved that you have to be well-rounded at all facets of the game. Road to UFC, Contender Series, PFL, whatever it is, wherever you're at. You got to have a back pocket item, because he knew striking wasn't going to get it done against Suling Rangbo. He goes to his grappling. Lawrence Louis is a striker. He's trained at CKB, by the way. Yeah. So him 7 for 15 on takedowns. Yeah. Most dominant grappler of the card for me. Most dominant grappler of the card. All right, another a performance that should have used grappling to a win and could have used grappling to win and didn't get that type of leeway is this fight that I'm showing you right now, Khan Offley and Yi Zha. This was Khan Offley's game plan. Get the takedowns, overwhelm him with strikes on his back, get the near finish, possibly make the judges think it's your fight. Everything that Khan Offley was supposed to do, Yi Zha did, and somehow Yi Zha still lost the fight even knocking down Konoffley. Isn't that fucking crazy? Beat him on total strikes. Beat him on significant strikes. 0 for 7 on takedowns versus 3 for 3 on takedowns. Probably had the control time advantage as well. And still, Yiza lost this fight. Unbelievable. So I just wanted to mention that Yiza sometimes it cannot go your way, but sticking to your game plan I don't even know what the lesson here is, honestly. The man should have won the fight. I don't know what they were thinking. Let's move on. Another grappling performance that, it wasn't dominant, but it's the reason they won the fight. Jonathan Mikhailov. Jonathan Mikhailov was losing on the feet to Oban Elliott. He was absolutely losing this fight on the feet. He was cut. He was getting beat up. He was getting styled on. He couldn't find the range. He was a step behind. And he made a conscious decision. Fuck, I don't think I'm going to get this done this way. Let me take this fight to the mat. Guess what? That's what won him the fight just a couple minutes later. He only needed one submission attempt to get the fight. Oban Elliott fought like hell to get out that motherfucker. He fought hands for about a minute and a half there and was even punching air like Holly Holm until it was over. But yeah, Jonathan Mikhailov used his grappling to get the win. All he needed was one takedown to do it. And his takedown prop probably wasn't even great, to be honest. It was probably like minus 180 for him to get a takedown. But the sub coming through, that submission coming through for Jonathan Mikhailov, I mean, we probably should have seen that coming, especially since Oban Elliott's struggles were his gas tank and his grappling. So a sub probably should have been on the board for Jonathan Mikhailov, who's a pretty well-rounded welterweight. And that's another missed cash right there. It's another missed cash. We thought the TKO was coming. We thought the decision was coming. The sneak submission found its way on this card. And one I'm real upset with is this fight. I mean, he did go 2 for 8 eventually, but Jacob Alcoon, I don't think had attempted a takedown attempt till after the 1.5 mark in this fight. In a fight where his opponent came in with a compromised leg, in a fight where his opponent injured or re-injured his leg in the fight, and Jacob Alcoon, let's go ahead and look at it. 2 for 8 here, right? 2 for 8. Okay, he got 2 takedowns, but that was against an injured opponent. Look what Jacob Alcoon does against other guys. Andre Petrosky. Okay, he went 0 for 3. Bad example, but I think that's the only bad example. He went 1 for 3 on Cody Brundage. Nick Maximov 9 for fucking 13. Don't you think he would put on a performance like that against Torres Finney, especially since Nick Maximov, no offense to Torres Finney, is probably more well-rounded and has better tools to win the fight on the ground than Torres Finney. But he could 9 for 13 on takedowns on Nick Maximov. Obviously, he didn't do that well against Brendan Allen, but still, guess what? 7 for 14 on Brendan Allen. On Brendan fucking Allen, top 10 middleweight, Brendan Allen. 8 for 24 on Abdul Razak Al Hassan. So naturally, you're like, oh, Jacob Alcoon spamming takedowns. He's going to gas this dude out. For some fucking reason, Jacob Alcoon decided, I'm going to be a striker, mate, for 2 fucking rounds. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to fucking strike for 2 fucking rounds and put the fight in jeopardy. Against a longer and stronger opponent than Torres Finney, Jacob Alcoon gets put out, and then he's mad at himself the next morning why he didn't get to his grappling earlier. He's lucky that 2 for 8 was good enough in this fight. But that wasn't a performance that Jacob Alcoon takes into the next fight feeling good about, let's be honest. He had a compromised opponent, still only went 2 for 8. And guess what? The limb that was compromised on his opponent was a limb that is very much needed in grappling. So, yeah, I don't know what that was out of Jacob Alcoon. Glad he got the win. Deserved of the win. Terrible, terrible game plan there to get to the grappling late in the fight. No, you take this guy out early. You take the fight out of a guy like Torres Finney early. Yeah, you won by unanimous decision 30-27, 30-26, 30-26, but it could have been a hell of a lot easier. You gave Torres Finney way too many chances to win that fight. Another grappling performance that got them the win, and they should have got to it a lot motherfucking earlier too. Billy Elikana and Junior Tafa. Billy Elikana and Junior motherfucking Tafa, man. I mean, everybody and their mother saw the game plan for this should have been exactly that. Junior Tafa, all of his wins by TKO. So, pretty easy there. I thought that was, no-brainer. No-brainer territory for me. But for some freaking reason, why is this going so slow? But for some freaking reason, Billy Alicana. Okay, now I got to type in Billy Alicana. Here we go. For some reason, Billy Alicana was like, yo, let me stand with Junior Tafa, a former heavyweight. Let me stand with the bull. Let me stand with him, see what's good. Let me see if he's got hands like they say he's got hands. Motherfucker, yeah, he got hands. It's Junior Tafa. All his wins are by KO, bro. What are we doing here? I mean, 1 for 5, yeah, but that was after he was drubbed in round 1. You know what I mean? It was after he was like, oh, shit, maybe I should start grappling. This dude almost put me out. That's when the takedown attempts started happening. And guess what? When he finally got that takedown, that's when that submission attempt came. Okay? And that's when that win came. And that's when that submission in round 2 came. All right? So Billy Alicana, another, perplexing performance for me to watch, because I was like, does he not know that the way to win this fight is to just take this man down and beat him? Does he not know that? I was asking Luke that on stream, like live. I was like, does Billy not know that this is the way to win? Or what? Is he Hawaiian priding out there? Or what, sorry, whatever his nationality is. What's his nationality? I'm not a dickhead to Billy Alicana. Was he Australian? He's Aussie. USA. Oh shit. Native American? I don't know what the fuck the guy is, okay? Whatever he is, grapple, brother. Junior Tafa was 6-4 before the fight. And guess what? Guess what? Let's go ahead and look at his fights. I know it's a lot harder to do, but guess what? 3 of his losses, well, 2 to that point, of his 4 losses were by sub. The one guy that had knocked him out was even a grappler, Marcos Rogerio de Lima. So it's just like everything pointed to grappling, and Billy was like, nah. We're going to see what he's got on the feet first. So that shit threw me the fuck off. I was upset to see that. I was like, Billy, you should have had like 3 takedowns, 1 in the first round, another in the second to start taking the fight out of Tafa, and the third to finish him off. And instead, he was like, I'm going to tire him out by taking punches to the face. I'm going to do that instead. And then last but not least, Benoit Saint-Denis and Dan Hooker, bro. That in all, weighted in the end was the best grappling performance of the weekend. He just tired out Dan Hooker with constant takedown attempts. The classic Marab's Dvalishvili takedown strategy. I'm just going to keep spamming until you can't stop him. That's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to keep doing them. I'm going to keep doing it. I'm going to keep doing them. And then when you're tired, I'm going to keep doing them. So 2 for 9 in a 1.5 round fight. I mean, it was in a 2-round fight, essentially. I mean, 5 takedowns. That's 1 a minute, y'all. That's basically 1 a minute. Every minute he's striking with the guy. Oh my God, I'm getting tired. Spam a takedown. But I say today, tripled him up on total strikes because of it. Tripled him up on significant strikes because of it. They had the same amount of takedown submission attempts because Dan Hooker trying to gilly him. But yeah, dominant grappling performance of the week because, yeah, he got the submission in round 2. So that was a submission prop we clearly saw early. We clearly called. Billy Alicana was also a submission prop that we saw earlier and we clearly called, and it worked out for us. BSD was a TKO. But the Alicana fight was a submission that we definitely called early. And BSD, we could have got the sub, but Dan Hooker's just too tough for his own good, decided to shell up instead. So that was a TKO finish in round 2, not a sub. But the grappling is what got him the win there. Those takedown attempts, and probably wasn't a great line because I think it was like 2.5 for BSD's takedowns. Ended up being 2. So that one actually bit us in the ass that week. I thought he'd have more success against Dan Hooker, but it is what it is. You can't win them all. At least that submission prop for Billy Alicana proved to be correct. So yeah, those were the most dominant grapplers of UFC 325 that I've seen over the week. Um, there could be some performances I'm missing out on, but I don't think they have enough weight like the ones that we just mentioned. This has been quite an interesting day. Dana White on the stand getting questioned for last 3 hours or so in Judge Bulware's court. Completely irrelevant to the show, so ignore me. I didn't see that. Mommy says, "Yo, Gav, what up, mommy?" And then Nikki V shows up. "What up, brother?" He says, "What up, boy?" Uh, Cosmo Kramer says Louis is CKB, not known for takedowns. Exactly. Exactly. And this man went 7 for 15. I mean, imagine the props we could have hit on a fight like that. Nikki V says, "What up, donks?" And then Lazy says, "Court has broke for 1 hour lunch. Time to blaze." Oh shit. LT Schmo says, "This guess's nationality is brought to you by DraftKings. The crown of random place is yours." And then Think Elikana has Samoan descent, but from Cali. Yeah, I was thinking Samoa. That's why maybe that's why I said Hawaii first. I should have said Samoan. But yeah, he's definitely got Samoan vibes. Maybe it was like a Samoan gangster off or something. Maybe that's why he was trying to, you know, strike with a fucking former heavyweight. Sal Killed Win deserves love for his judo. True, Sal Killed. That's a good point. Let's talk about the Sal Killed one. I didn't mention Sal Killed, and I feel bad now. I feel bad I missed out on Quill and Sal Killed. But yeah, Quill and Sal Killed got himself a nice sub victory over Jamie Malarkey. 2 takedowns, so obviously he had a clear game plan on his 3 attempts. Didn't go too much into the striking, only 18 strikes. He knew Jamie Malarkey's best bet was to keep it on the feet and to strike with him. Jamie Malarkey, an accomplished TKO guy himself before coming to the UFC. In the UFC, just a lot of decisions since he's got there. But yeah, Quillian Salkill got the submission in round 1, only needed 3 minutes to do it because of his grappling as well. All right, so 2 takedowns for Quillian Salkill must have been a sick prop as well. I mean, think about that. Think about that. And then for him to get a sub, nobody had sub on their card. I mean, probably people took finish just in case. I had TKO props. But yeah, sub was not on my card, but it would have been a nice prop to have for sure. Would have been a very nice prop to have. So without further ado, let's get into the picks. We got 2 cards and we got picks on UFC Vegas 113. There's a few names I want to talk about. First guy with a sub chance. I'm not thinking it's likely, and I don't think I'm going to put him in any of my parlays, but it's something to look at if you're looking for a flyer on this fight. Jacob Wicklax. All right, let's look at him. Let's look at my guy. His lone UFC bout, he didn't have a takedown attempt. Okay, let's keep that in mind. His lone UFC bout, he did not have a takedown attempt. And that was against Patchy Mix. In a fight that Patchy Mix, I believe, went like 7 for 13 on takedowns, something like that. Let's look at it. Let's look at his fights. The Patchy Mix fight, 5 for 7. Sorry, 7 for 15. 5 for 7, Patchy went. No takedown attempts. But look at that. That's the thing we're looking at right here. You see that at submission attempts? 3 submission attempts. He's constantly looking for submission attempts. Okay, especially when he likes to keep fights on the feet and he likes to make people initiate the grappling. That's what Jacob Wicklax likes to do. All right, now look at Jacob Wicklax's record, if you will. Okay, let's hit the all there. And there's a lot of subs on there, isn't there? Submission, armbar, submission, guillotine, submission, guillotine, submission, heel hook, submission, rear naked choke, guillotine, triangle choke, rear naked, guillotine, guillotine. You see these guillotines? The man likes the gilly. He likes the gilly, y'all. Oh, shit. Well, fuck that up. I thought I switched the view on you guys. But yeah. Let's redo that. Armbar, guillotine, heel hook, rear naked choke, guillotine, triangle choke, rear naked choke. This is Wicklax's record. This is a whole career. KSW, ACB, UFC, Eagles FC, Spartan FC. There's a lot of subs in there, y'all. That's his DNA. So looking at a Wicklax sub, I might take a flyer on it. I don't know if I like that for parlay seasons. But it would be a gorgeous parlay piece, I imagine, because I feel like they think this fight will go to decision with Muin Gafurov. All right. But a little thing you don't know about my man Muin. Actually, ESPN's a little too slow for me. I like Google better. Google, keep that AI shit up. All right. I'm not an AI drone kind of guy, but this shit goes a lot quicker when we do it this way. Go down to Gafurov, right? Check him out real quick. Boom. Boom. Check my guy out. Fuck it. I guess we're sure doggo. Slow my shit down. One loss by sub. The only time he's ever been finished was by sub. That's the only reason I'm apprehensive to throw in that Wicklack sub, because he's only been sub once, but there's smoke, there's fire. So I like a Wicklack sub possibility. Again, not a parlay piece, just a single, but there's a chance that happens. So keep an eye on that fight. A fight that I think sub could possibly happen, especially since this is probably this guy's route to victory. Maybe a Saeed Nurmagomedov sub. You ever think about that? I mean, Saeed, I know. You're like, Saeed, bro? Saeed's like the worst of all the Nurmagomedovs. I know. The problem here is that Saeed is actually getting a decent competition, decent person to fight against in this fight. I mean, Basharat, not the best, 14-2. His last fight getting knocked out, so maybe a little more timid, maybe a little more back footy. Okay, like look, he lost by Ricky Simone by TKO, and Ayman Zahabi, usually known for grappling, recently turned striker, beat him by unanimous decision. Victor Henry, pretty good on the ground. Tony Grevely. Okay, and then Saeed on the other hand, 18-5 is Saeed. 18-5. 6 of his finishes are by sub. 6 of his 18 wins. I know we're leaning more decision, obviously. And when he loses, by decision, too. Yeah. But if he's attempting subs at least, he's probably going to get some takedowns. And Basharat, I feel like he's been taken down a couple times. Let's take a look. Against Ricky Simone, obviously Ricky didn't need to. Pieced him up early. Got one takedown on him, though. Got a takedown on Basharat. Even still, getting him out of there early. No takedowns from Zahabi. He decided to use a striking that fight. 2 takedowns from Mendoza on Basharat. Okay. Trevin Jones. 3 attempted, but Trevin Jones known for striking. I think he's out of fucking Guam or something like that. Trevin Jones, something like that. It wasn't Guam. It was like fucking Barbados or some shit. And then Tony got 2 takedowns of 13 attempts on Javid. Okay, so it's proven that people can get takedowns on Javid Basharat. Nurmagomedov, I feel like he can get takedowns on him as well. Problem is, Nurmagomedov mostly known for striking in his last few fights. Not so many takedowns. But I think he could get a couple because, again, he tried 9 against Oliveira and got one. Okay, 9 against Vinicius Oliveira, and he got one. 9. All right. Gafurov didn't get one. That fight was totally on the feet. Jonathan Martinez, he went 3 for 9. Okay, especially when the striker in front of him, when the fighter in front of him is mainly a striker, he might mix in some takedown attempts. Look at that. He got one on Douglas De Silva and Andrade. And obviously, Kakramanov was not the fucking person to get takedowns on. But yeah. Saeed. I like Saeed takedowns. At least to get one. Hopefully, they give us decent odds on it throughout the week. But I think 2 is the sweet spot. I think he could get 2 takedowns on Javid Basharat. Whether he keeps him down, it doesn't matter. I think he could get 2 takedowns. Okay. And then another guy I'm looking at on this card, obviously, this is the biggest fucking, why have we not talked about him yet? Like, this guy's obviously going to spam takedowns. That's all he does. Yeah. We're our boy Jalton. Almeida. You already know we're doing it. I mean, quickly, let's look at his opponent. First of all, before we dive into Jalton, because this is going to take us a long, long time. I mean, I'm spamming Jalton sub. I'm spamming Jalton takedowns. I'm spamming all things Jalton, baby. All things Jalton. Watch this. Fuck. I switched the site. University of Florida. What the fuck are we doing here? All right. Here we go. Kuniv. Don't piss me off, Kuniv. All right, Kuniv, right? Let's look at his last fight. Curtis Blades obviously got taken down. You know, I mean, it's fucking Curtis Blades here. He got taken down twice by Curtis Blades and no takedown attempts. He's trying to keep this fight on the feet. Okay? Now let's look at our boy Jailton Almeida on the other hand. Woo-wee! Jailton Almeida takedowns. Order up. Order up. Now, Volkov obviously wasn't his best fight. He lost that fight, but still 7 of 9, guys. 9 takedowns, and he got 7. Sergey Spivak, he only got 1. He got the KO because of it. Okay? I don't think he finishes Kuniv in that fashion, so I think we're going to get a little bit more takedowns than that. Alexander Romanov, he only got 1, but it was to get an early submission. Romanov, you know, got up out of there. Curtis Blades gets him out of there, but still 9 for 13 on takedowns. 9 for 13 against Derek Lewis. 6 for 15 and 4 submission attempts. I forgot to talk about the submission attempts too. 2 submission attempts against Romanov. Where are we back here? We're back here. Anton Turkal, 3 for 3 on takedowns, 2 submission attempts. Guess what he got? A submission in round 1. Back to 2020. Okay. Yeah, so back to 2022, we see his DNA. Spam takedowns, get the submission victory. If he doesn't get the submission victory and the guy's too tough or too big to wrap his fucking arms around, like Derek Lewis, he's going to get a decision win. Kuniv, big guy. He could be too big to wrap his arms around. And that doesn't matter to us. You know why? Because we can spam his motherfucking takedowns. It's either he gets the sub or he gets a shit ton of takedowns. So what I'm going to be doing with Jailton Almeida is I'm going to be doing a max on his takedowns, probably starting at around 3. And then I'm going to ladder his takedowns all the way up. And then I'm also going to take him to win the fight by sub. I'm also going to take Jailton to win a fight by sub. And that's my move with Jailton. He will be in most of my parlays, whether it's a takedown parlay or a submission parlay, I will be adding Jailton Almeida to it because he is the cornerstone of this whole grappling shit. He's the main grappler of the weekend if we're not talking about PFL Dubai. All right, so Jailton Almeida. And then other guys where I'm thinking about it, I might not. It might be a good idea. It could be a bad idea. I'm thinking Kyoji Horiguchi, brother. Kyoji Horiguchi likes to mix it up a lot. You know, he's really well-rounded, one of the more well-rounded guys. Just looking at his UFC fights, his last one against Ulanbekov, I don't think he went for takedowns. Oh, he went for 1 takedown, didn't need it, used the striking, put him down, got the submission attempt, got the sub. But his last fight, he won by sub. Maybe this is his DNA here. You know, looking back to his old fights, 6 for 8 on takedowns, 4 for 9 on takedowns. Takedowns a big part of his game. Chico Camus, at least he tried for 5 on Chico. 1 for 5 on Mighty Mouse. 1 for 2. So I think Kyoji Horiguchi is going to be good for a takedown. I think Kyoji Horiguchi to get a takedown on Amir Albazi is going to be a solid prop this week. I know he's going to be better on the feet, but I don't think he's the bigger guy, so he might be a little smaller, so he might be trying to close the space. So I like Kyoji Horiguchi in my takedown parlay. And that would be my takedown parlay because I don't think we could do them for PFL, and also those lines haven't dropped yet. But I see a lot of takedown props on UFC. So my takedown parlay would probably be Saeed Nurmagomedov, Jailton Almeida, Kyoji Horiguchi to each get a takedown in their fights. Okay. And I mean, regardless of whether Jailton Almeida wins or loses, he gets a takedown. So that one's probably a lock. It's probably going to be dog shit odds, you know, but you never know. Maybe they think he gets a quick finish over Cooney, so they set the line pretty low. It could happen. You know, that's why I like these types of fights, because if I ladder Jailton Almeida's takedowns, the motherfucker spamming them, gets 8 takedowns in round 1, gorgeous. The money just came back super fast. You know what I mean? Obviously, we can take an L here as well, but if he does get a quick finish, we could take him by finish. to alleviate that, so we get both the KO and the sub, or we could just take him straight up by sub because we know that's his DNA. That's what he likes to do against these guys. He likes to quickly get the sub. He's a submission guy, and a lot of his victories are by sub. So yeah, those are the guys. And if you want to sneak one in there, maybe Mario Bautista to get a sub because he does have a lot of sub ability, and we've seen that's possibly the way to beat Vinicius Oliveira. But takedowns not the move for Mario Bautista. Stay away from Mario Bautista takedowns, which probably means he's going to get like a shit ton because that's just how it goes. I mean, just think about the Gaethje fight. Think about the Gene Silva fights. So maybe he's like a sneaky takedown guy because how does he get a sub if possibility? Because he does have a decent amount of subs on his record. And the lines might be pretty good on that as well. But just keep in mind this stat. He has not gotten a takedown since 2023. It's been 3 years since the man got a takedown. So I would stay away from Mario Bautista unless you're really feeling frisky and trying to take a flyer on something like that. But yeah, those are my picks for takedowns and subs on UFC Vegas 113. Let's see what the chat's hitting on. Shitty to see Shavkat will be out a while, yeah, but at least when he comes back, he'll have something new to be in the mix of, hopefully. Hopefully we get some motion around there. Back footy. And then Almeida filling in on short notice here. Hasn't had a full camp. I worry about his cardio. Yeah, but still, his route to victory is to get a takedown. So that's why I like him to get a takedown in his takedown props. If he's going to get a sub, he's going to need a takedown. You know what I mean? If he's going to win, he's going to need a takedown. He's going to at least attempt takedowns. So we can probably get a good takedown leg through with Almeida. Now, sub might not be the move, but again, his best victory in a short notice fight won't be to drag it out, would be to get this up. So yeah, I like Almeida sub and I like a takedown for Almeida at the very least. 2 takedowns might be pushing it. We'll see what the lines are set out when they drop them motherfuckers. Octopus with no friends says, yo, with the smoky. And then Cosmo says, Albazi is trash. Yeah, that's why I like the Horiguchi takedown props. I mean, he's not really going to, I don't see him stopping Horiguchi in any single facet, but the way that he would have a route to victory, I would think, would be to keep it on the feet against Horiguchi. So that's why I think a Horiguchi takedown is pretty solid. And then Christianel says, damn, streaming damn near every day now? Members be getting their money's worth. You know what I'm saying? I told you 2026 hits, and we going live more often. You're going to see my face a lot more often. So, yeah, damn near every day, baby. Damn near every day. Let's talk about the submission props on PFL Dubai. Nurmagomedov versus Davis. All right. Let's talk about the submission props here. Now, I thought I switched to the video. Did it not switch? It is what it is. I got a website for this, y'all. Oh, yeah, I got a site. This is the new site that I've been using for my PFL stats. It's called SofaScore. Okay. And I'm not sponsored by them at all. I promise you I'm not. Oh. We'll switch our views here real quick. But SofaScore has been helpful in me looking at stats, especially for PFL, because, they don't usually offer a lot of those. A lot of those everywhere, even on the PFL website, not so much. So this is actually where I go to check out some stats. So here we go. I'm going to click on PFL Dubai. Oh, no. It's going slow, huh? Come on, baby. Not now. You can do this. You can do it. It's like frozen here. All right. Let's scroll down a little bit more. I'm trying to get to the event because they're really good about the stats. They give you percentages. They do all that. All right. It's a little slow. A little slow. Real slow. Too slow. Too slow for a stream. We're just going to have to read these stats off to you, unfortunately. But you got to see the website. If you guys want to use SofaScore, it works best on your phone, obviously, because the motherfucker slowed this shit down crazy. But SofaScore is good. It has all the PFL stats. So if I want to check out, like, takedown percentages, striking percentages, all that type of shit, they have that. And right now, just how I showed you on the laptop, but on your phone, you just click the event and then you scroll down. They have a tab for main event and a tab for prelims, and then you just check out one of those. So my first submission guy that I have on my slate for PFL Dubai is Khabib Nabiev. All right, Khabib Nabiev. So if you scroll down to there and you click his name, it'll show you his most recent fights. 702. Whoa. But it'll show you his percentages. Right now, they don't have any for him, but they because he hasn't fought in the PFL yet, I don't believe. But I like Khabib Nabiev to get a submission victory over Ahmed Sami. So Sami is 12-4, 6 KOs. He has 3 submission wins. But Nabiev's 11-0 with 9 finishes. A lot of people don't really make it to round 3 with him. Okay. And I feel that Ahmed Sami is going to be too tough to get TKO'd in any way. I feel like he's going to give up the neck at some point, or it could be a club and sub possibility. So I like Nabiev for the sub. All right. But for my next leg of PFL, I like Luke Trainer to get it done over Wilco, yo. I'm not feeling Wilco. Luke Trainer, Wilco's 19-4. He's coming off 2 losses, one of them by finish. Luke Trainer is 6'6". It's rare to have a bigger guy than Wilco in there. Luke Trainer is 6'6". Wilco's like 6'2", bro. Maybe 6'3", but he's like 6'2". All right. Will Trainer's 6'6", 9-1, 5 subs, 4 straight wins, and 3 of them by finish. Okay. I feel like he chases the back on Wilco a lot, especially because Wilco's best route is knocking guys out. You know what I mean? Being controlled, not his game plan. So already if he's controlled and a decision victory is on the way for Luke Trainer, submission possibilities will present themselves. Okay, so I like Luke Trainer to possibly get a sub. And if he's not trying to slow cook him, if he's just trying to get him out of there early, sub's still going to be the route. He's going to try to take him down and sink in a sub early. So I like Luke Trainer sub. The other one I like is Nurmagomedov. Let me see if they have stats for him. Let's go back to Luke Trainer. Not now, bitch. Yeah. Back down to Luke Trainer. Let's just look at his stats real quick. I know they got some stats on him. Yep, they do. So there's tabs. There's a details tab, statistics tab, and a fights tab. So significant strikes, he lands 42.3% of his significant strikes. 71% of them are to the head. 15% are to the body, and 13.3% are to the leg. So Luke Trainer mainly targets the head, right? His takedown average per 15 minutes, 47% of the time he's successful. Same thing on his submission average. 50% of the time he's successful, and he has 2 to 3 transitions per bout. All right. I don't know why they don't have takedowns attempted. They have takedown percentage. That's weird. Let me see if I switch up the view. Oh, here we go. Yeah. So per 15 minutes, he attempts 4 takedowns and gets 2 of them. All right. Per 15 minutes, he attempts 5.5 submission attempts and gets 3 locked in. All right. So Luke Trainer sub, loving that against a guy like Wilco. Now, Wilco, on the other hand, targets the head a lot as well. 1 takedown attempted per 1.8. Sorry, 1.8 attempted per 1 landed. So he's not attempting takedowns. He's attempting takedowns half as much as Luke Trainer is. Okay. No transitions, no submissions attempted, and a lot targeting the head. 15 of his 30 strikes that he throws per round are targeting the head. All right. What is Luke Trainer going to do? He's going to try to get around to that back and sub him. That's why I love Luke Trainer sub in this fight. Going to Nurmagomedov, my next sub. Nurmagomedov. That's also on the prelims, if you're wondering. He's taking on Colton England. Now, Colton England, finisher. Okay, which is why I'm like, maybe this one not the best. You know what I mean? No stats for this one, but my reason being, it's probably not going to be in my takedown parlay because of how unproven this guy is. Luke Trainer definitely going to find his way into my takedown parlay. But as for Nurmagomedov. England's on he's 15-4 on a 6-fight win streak with 4 finishes. Magomedov is 8-0 with 5 subs. So leaning sub there. Already leaning sub. All right. The thing here is England lost 4 times by KO. 4 times by KO. I can't tell you how many of those were ground and pound. I can't tell you how many of those were on the feet, but it's got to be that he's just too tough for his own good and the referee's got to pull him off. Something like that, right? He's not giving you submission attempts. But the fact that Nurmagomedov has 5 of his 8 wins by sub, I kind of got a lean sub there. So I'll be looking at sub props for Nurmagomedov. I'm not sure if it'll find its way into my submission parlay, especially since he's unproven. But he will definitely get a couple ganders. And then Abdurragimov, the lazy king. The lazy king. St. Louis is my Haitian brother. I know Conley St. Louis. He's 11-5 with 3 TKO losses. Okay. But Abduragimov's 19-1 with 12 submission victories. Yeah, you heard that right. 12 submission victories. 12 for Abduragimov against a guy that was recently finished. I gotta favor Abduragimov. Now look at this. Per 15 minutes, Conley St. Louis. Oh, why the fuck does it say Umatov? Did something just change? Why the fuck does this say Umatov? Hold the fuck on. Umatov Abduragimov. Did Conley drop out? I'm confused. All right. For all intents and purposes, we're still going to stay with Abduragimov, and we're not going to go into Conley St. Louis. All right. Strictly talking Abduragimov. Grappling. Significant strikes kind of low because he knows his bread and butter. All right. 9 takedowns attempted per 15 minutes, and he lands 3 per 15 minutes. His opponent, 4.7 attempted and lands about 2.5. All right. So lower clip, higher success for Umatov. Submissions attempted, 4 attempted per fight, 1 per fight average, which means high likelihood that he will get a submission to end the fight and win the bout. Problem is, if it's Umatov, I don't like that sub anymore. But if it's Conley St. Louis, I still like the sub. So I don't know. I got to figure out who's still the opponent. Shit's switching up on us. We'll see what happens. But the last one that I might like, Usman Nurmagomedov, bro. Usman against Alfie Davis. I know the other guy couldn't get it done, but from the same camp, you got to think they're going to look at that tape and see where he made mistakes and see where Usman should capitalize, right? I mean, it just makes sense. Davis 25-1, 6 KOs, 11 decisions. All right, most loses by decision. Nurmagomedov 20-0, and he mixes it up. He could win any single way. All right, so maybe looking at an Usman Nurmagomedov sub just in case. I mean, that's definitely the route to victory. We know that Alfie Davis gave his stablemate a tough time on the feet, so you got to think that he's going to want to either best him there just to prove he's the best in the world, or immediately get to his strength and somewhere that Alfie Davis doesn't have a lot of strength. So that's why I would maybe like Usman Nurmagomedov by sub. And that's it. Those are the 5 that I like for it. So it would be Khabib Nabiev, Luke Trainer, Amru Magomedov, Abduragimov, and Usman Nurmagomedov. The ones I like the most are Abduragimov and Trainer, maybe Magomedov, unproven. So, a little sweaty. And same thing with Nabiev. Maybe I'd parlay Nabiev and Magomedov. If those guys get it, cool. But I would like Trainer and Abduragimov sub as my 2 legs. Maybe Usman as a third if you're trying to get frisky. So, yeah. I don't think I'd combine any subs across the card. If I would, it would be my most likely ones. So I would do Luke Trainer sub, parlay that with Jalton Almeida sub. Those would be my 2. Okay, and then you already heard the other sub possibilities: Wicklax, Nurmagomedov, Horiguchi, Bautista. Those guys have sub possibility as well. As for takedowns, we're only doing those three. Remember, we're only doing our three guys: Saeed Nurmagomedov, Jonathan Almeida, Kyoji Horiguchi. All right, those are the three, and that's it. That's it, guys. That's it. You know, a little grappling show for you guys, real quick, a little hour, one quick hitter. You know what I mean? Hopefully you guys got some knowledge from this. Take it into the week and do what you want with it. You could listen to Luke, you could listen to me, you could listen to MK, you could listen to the Parlay pals, you could listen to whoever fuck you want. I'm just here spamming and chumming the waters. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't. And I want to see what happens with Amir Albazi. Emojis in the chat, and the card is weak this weekend. Could be a classic clubber subber dubber, brother. Clubber subber dubber. You know I'm with them subber dubbers. That's why I should have called this subber dubber. Maybe we'll change the name instead of Hump Day to subber dubber. But yeah, I actually really like subber dubber now. We might switch it up to subber dubber. We'll see. What do you guys think? Instead of Hump Day. And then what else? Where has Thad Gene been? Hasn't fought since August. He's doing a media tour. I've seen him doing a lot of media. I follow him on social. He's been doing a lot of media recently. I don't know if he's got a fight booked. I know they're trying to unify welterweight, I believe. So I have multiple a fight with I forget who the other guy was. But yeah. And then when the UFC shows tweets in between rounds, you think they use them to influence bets mid-fight? Absolutely. Absolutely. That's it for me, y'all. Don't forget to tune in on Friday. We got CP units, 2:30 p.m. Same time this came on. I don't know if I'm going to keep this time or go early. I kind of like the 2 o'clock time. I'm not going to lie. 2 o'clock feels right for me for Tuesdays and Wednesdays instead of 11 a.m. Monday might have to stay 10 a.m. because of how much is going on at all other times of the day. But we'll see what happens. Appreciate everybody that pulled up to the chat. Again, if you like the content, if you appreciate what we're doing over here, scan the QR code. We're trying to get to 750. One more round fights everywhere on social. Don't forget to scan the QR code. Follow Main Card Minute as well. Follow the socials, live tweeting for the fights. I'll be live for PFL this week. I'll be live doing the CP units Friday. I'll be live with Luke on the Main Card Minute for UFC. So don't forget to come back to this channel as well. Show some love over here. Don't be a bitch. Send it to some friends, you know, all that shit. And then last housekeeping, scan the QR code, Main Card Minute on your left. One more round fights on your right. Hope you guys enjoyed Hump Day. Maybe soon to be clubber, subber, dubber, dubber, subber, clubber, subber, dubber, whatever the fuck. All right. Either way, we might be changing the name. I like Hump Day. We might change it to subber, dubber. Nah. But anyways, have a good week. Enjoy your Thursday. Enjoy the press conference or whatever the fuck, whatever content they're gonna have coming out this week. I'm getting out of here. I'm gonna get something to eat, chill with my dog. Peace.
I live life how I wanna. Smoke lots of marijuana. I live my life in these streets. We can smoke out the window. I'm on a trip. Maybe I'm a gunner. Cause I live in I'm in younger. Hot box like a sauna. In a foreign or Americana. Let me grind my green. Roll up, put inside my weed. Those one to the sky, go the highest. Then go puffin' like my trees. Floating on an Nimbus cloud. Who's blessing where I'm hitting loud. Blowing smoke like guns blazing. Blowing holes in the span of 1 day. I'm saying I live life how I wanna. Smoke lots of marijuana. I live my life in these streets. We can smoke out the window. these streets, licking smoke out the window. I'm on a trip. Maybe I'm a gunner, cause I live in a manana. Hot box like a sauna in a